Episode commencing in 3, 2, 1. Episode initiated.
It's bombs away on your mission today. Here's the countdown and the blast off. Everything is go for this week's Cosmic Astro Boy. This is your GM Patrick here, your Japanese mecha anime enthusiast, and in this week's episode, there are chills and or thrills of an animated variety. Joining me in fighting the fight and winning the night are my 5 friends and your fellow robo-folk. To my far left, a Pinocchio-like robotic boy that is sold to the circus for peanuts. It's Jabert, jabbering away his Jamfram. Gibbity yep yep. Across the digital table from him, this elephant named Professor keeps making robot kids, and you can't stop him. It's Miles, make him believe is redacted. Good evening. To my right, an Astro sister created to make more toys. Why, it's Tyler talking as Pradier.
Must assemble toys.
To my immediate left, a gumshoe detective that hates robots like Will Smith hates jokes about his wife. It's Drew, dying to play Zilix Fell.
I still think it's weird that that band refuses to admit that they got the name from this.
And across from him, a giant robot that's gone haywire and can only be stopped by a scrappy scrap robot. It's none other than Rebecca rolling with Asher and Sky.
Hello.
Yeah, we're about a year away from Will Smith slapping someone, so more than a year, much more than a year, actually. I think at the point this comes out, yeah.
I mean, it was at the Oscars, and that was... Those have already happened again.
Yeah.
That was like months ago when this episode comes out, Rebecca. Months ago.
It's true.
Never forget.
I mean, that's what happens when you slap one person because of something they said about your wife. Is now, if anybody says anything about your wife, you just got to slap them. You're locked in.
Yeah, you've set a precedent.
Committed, yeah.
Yep, you're committed to the bit, and now
Will
someone
Smith
just
would have stood up for me, but I guess you're no Will Smith.
Yeah. Oh no, Patrick, behind you! It's Will Smith.
Or you just become a person that likes slapping people just for whatever reason. Like, it doesn't have to be about this or that.
Like that. What's that? Isn't there like a video I see on the internet every so often?
I'm really looking forward to the reboot of the Three Stooges with Will Smith and Chris Rock.
Yeah. It's like
well, you know the UFC dude has that power slap company now.
Yeah.
It's
so
awful.
It's like I have the rights
wild.
to slapping in the United States.
They just need to play GoldenEye multiplayer now that it's back. Just with that.
I would defend my wife's honor, but I'm more of a shouting at the top of my lungs, not cool kind of guy than slapping someone. Like if someone insulted
honestly
someone dear to me, not cool.
I'm just glad in the year of our Lord 2023 that yelling not cool at someone always works. It's 100% effective. And
yeah. I mean, if someone screamed not cool at me, I don't think I'd be able to.
Could never recover from it.
I mean, yeah. I would be on my ear.
Have you guys seen?
I'd like to test that theory.
Have you guys seen the TikTok trend of people saying that when they get mad at someone in traffic, instead of giving them the finger, they give them the thumbs down, and that makes people more angry?
Yeah.
I can see that.
Of course.
That's how you get shot in Florida. The guy gave me the thumbs down.
For those of you out there who want to shout a not cool, but want to take the edge off, you can always end it with bro. That just kind of diffuses the situation a little bit from your immediately, not cool,
I have no interest in
bro.
diffusing. It's all escalation, baby.
Speaking of,
I like not cool, bro, because it's like they're like, I'm gonna take this seriously, and you say bro, and they're like, that person's just a goober. No, that's nothing.
Speaking of taking it seriously, let's take this podcast seriously. This last time on history of last week's episode. I know it's been only 1 week since we last played, but doesn't it feel like several weeks have gone by?
Yep.
Yes, it does for all of us. But we still have to get into it. And let me tell you what happened last time we played. Just a quick reminder, you guys are fallible. I'm infallible, but my memory is quite fallible. I've written down a recap of last week's episode, and some particulars are incorrect. If you correct 2 of the things that are wrong here, you get an episode reroll. If you get none correct, I get 1.
Mm-hmm.
I get 1. So I'm going to put it in the chat here. Last week on Cosmic Crit, you all went to the settlement's silo where you passed by Ilsynth 11 working on the colony's housing. And there at the silo, you were met by Maladia Krinth, the settlement's botanist, who said that some kind of creature chewed its way into the silo. Entering inside were creatures that you identified as asteroid fleas. After dealing with them, Maladia said that she should have the silo up and running in only 1 week.
Ilsynth 11 is not the person who called us down. It was Ilsynth 11's wife that called us down.
And what was her name, Drew?
I know.
Risa Miege.
Ilsynth 11.
Risa Miege. Also,
Yeah, correct.
Lydia isn't the chief botanist. She's the chief builder.
Yeah, I'll take it. Mechanic/engineer, one of several. Does anybody else want to correct something? You've already got the re-roll.
I want to say that it was going to take longer than a week to rebuild the thing because she was going to have to tear it all down and rebuild it from scratch because we came second.
Yeah, it is going to. Do you have a guess as to how long it's going to take?
Ooh, that's going to take her at least like 3 cycles. So
3 cycles of
you know how time works.
She's
in this Galarian,
she's dealing with quads of data with this, so you know.
It's she said 1 month.
Yeah,
1 month.
That's what I was gonna guess, but I was like, 3 cycles will be funny.
Obviously, we already got it, but I thought it was Asteroid Louse.
It was Asteroid Laos.
Asteroid Laos.
You guys got them all correct, which means it'll be harder next week. Obviously, so much harder.
No.
This week's episode begins. So you guys got a good night's rest for the first time this season.
Oh,
so
what does
far.
that do for my resolve again?
All your RP back, all your SP
good.
back, and you get, I believe, your Constitution in HP back as well. Constitution modifier.
Who cares? My spells are back.
But yeah, if Lyushu hasn't, he can also basically guarantee that he will succeed on
On a medicine check.
some medicine checks. Yeah,
Okay.
if you're needing it. So that will give you back another, I believe, 5 hit points.
Okay, perfect. That's exactly what I need.
You got some boo-boos on Jamfram?
Oh, Jamfram got the boo-boos. All right.
How
We got run over, right?
How did you break your arm twice? Both arms seem to be broken in different places.
Well, see, the first one was my sword, and the second one was my stick. And
I kept pulling weapons out, and I kept dropping.
I think the second one was redacted stick.
Stick shift. Yeah, there we go.
Oh, you guys awaken to the smell of rehydrated eggs, synthetic bacon, and maybe some fresh baked bread. There's a long breakfast table set up outside your command center, which houses a couple other folks from the colony's, I guess, upper echelon of folks here. This used to be the command deck for the Burnished Dawn, and now has been settled down here on the planet's surface. You see Ezrin Shire here chatting up Kel's Deirdrick. Balco Ungtar is sitting fiddling with some communications gear. There's electronic equipment kind of spread out amongst the plates and food in front of him. Lyushu, the colony's, is speaking with the colony's Shakalta counselor Astraka. They're playing 4D chess over here. Oh, you might have heard about 3D chess, but what about 4D chess?
it takes more time to move the pieces.
Yes, it's like speed 3D chess. I've set up people over here on this map of the Compant Star Settler that you guys rode in on to get an example of the folks here. In addition, you guys are encouraged to have some coffee or tea, and it's brought out to you by none other than Tayeta. It's the host Sheeran and biologist of the colony that works under Halthalia Grommen. They'll get you fixed with whatever you need. Maybe lightly tap you on the shoulder, see if you're injured, and put the drink down in front of you at the table, and they'll say, dig in, everyone, enjoy. Zilix, you had some samples of that jolt vine. You were thinking of bringing them to Halthia, who's kind of the lead botanist, but would you be interested in showing them to Tayeta?
Yeah. I think just anything to kind of get them off my hands. Don't really want these things kind of hanging around too much.
Yeah. It's a small sample. You have it in like a little container.
I wondered. Don't want to put anybody out, but could you? I gave this to someone else, but no one's really gotten back to me on this. Could you possibly take a look at this? I found it on one of our journeys.
It is indeed. It's a bit of the bark with odd necrotic growth on it. It looks like a small ashen purple patch. Yes, this is very interesting, though. Well, we shouldn't have a sample like this out in the open where we're eating food. We don't know if this is this is potentially native to this planet, but it might have more severe consequences if introduced to our hydroponically grown plants.
Point taken. Won't happen again.
I will conceal this, and I'll have my superior, Haltharia, isolate and further study it in the future if you'd like, though we have a bit of a back catalog. I already know she will say this is not a priority, if that's all right.
I would strongly recommend that you make this a priority. This is something that tried to kill us, or was associated with something that tried to actually kill us. Not in like a poison way, more in a trying to actively kill us way.
I mean, as I said, I can talk to Haltharia, but maybe if you'll do her some kind of favor or fetch quest, she can bump you up. But
I don't really want to. I don't want to be that guy. But we did put our lives at risk for this, and it's possible that maybe we want to push this just a little bit up the chain without making too much of a fuss.
They really are going to focus. Haltharia will say it's more important to test foodstuffs, so people don't die of food poisoning from new plants here on the planet.
If someone doesn't die of food poisoning, they might die of the plant attacking them. But we'll just call that a draw.
Just I would suggest in the meantime, do not eat those jolt vines. That would be a good middle area here. Just tell people not to eat the plant that tried to kill you. We could just assume it's poisonous or not good for your digestion.
Really about the poison here, but I'll just never mind.
The Starman, the Shakalta known as Astraka, is a glowing blue entity with a very calming demeanor. I just grabbed some random art online. This kind of what it looks like. Yeah, I mean, they're like a glowing. What is that, Mouse?
Is that Squid Game?
Squid Game? No, they do have
on his face.
They do have like markings where a face might be, but
Miles, that's not a triangle. That's a pizza shape. Jeez Louise.
He gets everyone's attention and emits kind of a high whine tone, just like a piercing call, and then says, "Greetings, everyone. I know this has been a really far out day already here, but like we thought, we were settling one thing and we totally got sideswiped by this Galarion nonsense. This planet's going to be like bodaciously important to the Pact, but it won't be worth a hill of beans if we don't, get out there and really digs our hands in the dirt and get to work."
Is this character based off that dude from Lost who was the hippie that was on the island with the others and the flashbacks?
I've written in my notes here for his voice. Let's just double check. Tommy Chong.
Okay.
I didn't dial the Tommy Chong up to 11. It's like a 7 Tommy Chong. You made me lose my place in my notes, Drew. Ezra and Shire says, well said, Astraka. Yeah, that's right. So anyway, part of that hard work is your colony mandated team building. You have to, really get to know one another. So for this morning's breakfast, I wanted to talk to you all about, where you come from. Just talking to the group here. Where's home to you? Maybe not where you were born. Maybe just someplace you care about. If you care to share, maybe if you're missing it or not now that you've been away from it so long. This is a group team building exercise where you're encouraged to talk about your where you come from. Does anybody want to start? Because there's other folks here as well if you're not interested.
Pradier is reading a book, and he does not seem eager to speak up.
Pradier, do you want to start off?
He doesn't respond, doesn't even seem to hear this as
Astraka throws like a small home fry at you. Like a little piece of breakfast. Like, hey, Pradier, whoa, we're over here, man.
Yes. I'm sorry. I think everyone has done a good job.
No,
Thank you.
Well, the question is, where are you from? Where do you call home?
Oh, an interesting inquiry.
Yeah, thank you. That's why I asked it.
I cannot say for certain where home is, but my most recent place of living was Eox, and that is where I began my travels from.
Oh, okay, cool. Astraka looks over at Balco Unctar, who is also actively trying to avoid eye contact by fiddling with communications gear. And he says, "Oh, I don't really know what to say. I guess Akaton. I never really liked it there, though. Probably why I left. Anybody else? Drew, want to talk about Zilix?
Zilix Thel, City-State Thelm. I don't really need to say too much about that, I assume.
Where is that, man? The city-state is named after you?
Well, in a sense, the history goes back far enough that it's not quite sure whether his city-state is named after my family or my family is named after the city-state. It's one of those things.
Ezrand will speak up and says, I'm born and raised in Absalom all my life, but probably most feel at home in the sweeping countrysides and quaint cottages of Galarion Knights 4. Does anyone else play that video game? That vid game? I'm very stoked about the sequel, the holographic upgrades they're going to have. I can't wait to slay dragons in true frame polyphonic resolution HDHI. No one else plays it here. Okay, just me.
Jamfram will pipe up and say, I've never played your vid game, as it's called.
Oh,
but
dude, you'd love it. You'd love it so much.
Almost certainly. I got those gamer thumbs. That's what they say. He doesn't have opposable thumbs. He's just got paws. So,
we might need to correct some art for the character.
I was going to say, yes, but I too, friend, am from Absalom Station. I was there when the Civ attacked, and I defended our land, so to speak. Land, in quotations, it's mostly made of metal, and there's some dirt there. I defended that.
Oh, cool. Kells, they go over to her, and she says, I suppose Absalom is where I've lived the longest now, but my mother's clan was from Akaton originally. I guess wherever I have work just becomes my home. So I don't really miss anywhere since I'm never not working.
Asher would speak up and say, we come most recently from Triaxis. We've been studying dance under the tutelage of the Battleflowers for the last several years. Prior to that, I lived with my parents, but we were separated. Fortunately, I feel in a way I carry my home with me, always. Sky is my home.
Astraka's like, yeah, no, for me too, man. Home just feels like a warm burrito, and like a good burrito. It's okay if your idea of home's a little cheesy. Lyoshu will speak up next and say, I suppose the place that is most like home for me is the repository of errant lore in the Citadel of the Black on Octurn. It is where I spent years of my theological studies, deep in thought. It is a magically silenced place, so those reading in the library can concentrate. And I think that is where my mind goes the most when I meditate.
But if everyone started just booing right now.
Boo this man.
Boo this man from Octurn. That is not
Nerd.
cool, bro.
Not cool.
He studied there. It's not. not necessarily from there. Tayetta will continue on and say, I was birthed on Absalom as well, but my family moved to Castroville pretty early on. I would say Cabaret University is the place that felt the most like home to me. It's where I got my degree and spent some time. All eyes, now having completed talking about themselves, turn to Redacted. Miles, what's Redacted been doing this entire time?
Redacted hasn't even registered what's going on. Redacted is just eating what he assumes is passing for food here, and just eating in silence. He's not avoiding anything. He is just not registering that something's happening at all.
It's the dopest chili dog that anyone has ever seen, and he's just like completely just
it's mid.
right. He's not even paying attention to it.
Oh boy, howdy! I don't know. That sounds like a will save to me to not freak out over a full chili dog with the work.
He's not Sonic the Hedgehog.
Am I gonna have to do D2? Astrak will be like, Redacted. I don't like calling you that, man. But where you come from? Where's home for you?
Redacted just kind of stares in silence, like as if recognizing that someone else is around. And so just kind of slowly turns towards him and just kind of stares for a little bit. And then just quietly says, I miss nothing. And then goes back to eating.
All right. Cool story, bro. All right. Well, that's that. I technically have done all the work that I was planning to do today. So I'm probably just going to...
All I had on the docket was this team building exercise.
Well,
enjoy your breakfast.
I only had to talk to 8 people today by contract. So this counts, dudes. I'll see you later. I'm going to go fishing. As you guys are cleaning up breakfast, Ezran says, well, the plan for you all is, in these early days to take Redacted's space wagon out there, start exploring the wilderness. Are you guys up for the job? I know you had a pretty rough day yesterday. You all healed up?
I think Redacted, I finally hear something of interest to Redacted, and that's getting back in the vehicle.
Wheeling around. Space wag. Yeah, I don't know. Does it need a name? Does it need to be the...
I think we talked about giving it a name. I couldn't remember if we wanted the fans to decide the name. I feel like we had like a brief conversation, and
maybe not a full on challenge, but maybe an unofficial one.
Yeah, like maybe an unofficial challenge of like just people just
hop in the Discord and give us a sweet name.
Right. Actually, maybe we were just like shooting some names off while we were doing the Kaiju podcast, but I remember us having a conversation about it. But
Godzilla, I don't think it was Space Wagon.
Yeah, Space Wagon Wagmagwi.
Yeah, no. Ezran will come over to Redacted and is like, I'm not really sure what you're going to be looking for out there. Maybe like natural resources or ancient ruins of the past. Who knows what you're going to find? But whatever you do, keep your eyes peeled. Keeping your eyes peeled for the most interesting thing you can find out there. Anyway,
I don't think grays have eyelids.
Oh well. Maybe maybe you should grow some. Maybe you should blink every once in a while. They gotta have some kind of membrane.
They must have.
It's probably like a sheep's, like like the really creepy looking alien one. Well, good luck on your ranging. You might see a few other colonists out there. We got surveyors and what have you, and builders. Elena's Zorian's already gone, along with some of the other surveyors. If you see them while exploring, tell them I said hello. You guys ready to get exploring? Some hexploration up in this campaign? Beep, beep.
Not opposed to the idea.
Okay. I am taking us... Well, going to take us to a new map I've marked as Colony Map, as I've recreated some topographical maps of kind of the area where you've landed. This little blue box here kind of marks the landing zone, which for the most part was like aerially scouted as you guys came in. But yeah, in hexploration mode, each hex, there's 6 other hexes you can head to first. And for the most part, the explorations of this entire colony is a pretty intense job. It's up to you guys how much time you want to dedicate of your time, your character's time to doing it. The initial zone for this colony, like basically the area on this map is like 100,000 square miles, so it's quite large. There's mountains to the northwest, northeast. You've got this wide inner sea to the south, plenty of forests all around you guys. You got a lot of forests, hex, and rivers throughout your region. In Pathfinder terms, this is a map of the region of Taldor. But yeah, as you guys extend your influence in later books, we can go to other areas of the map, to the north, south, east, west, that kind of thing. Each of these hex squares are about 35 miles across, like at the longest, maybe 40, shortest 30. So there's like 1,000 square miles in each one of these, and buggying across it does not take very long at all. I think the buggy can do like 40 miles per hour miles with flat terrain, of course, and in good conditions. But exploring the entire hex, so going, over every square mile, it will take about 4 days of time.
Okay.
And
man, now I feel like the dad from Pete and Pete about making good time.
Yeah. But that's assuming like 8 full hours of driving around per day. And the first thing you want to do in the charter development, the settlement development, is create resource nodes. And to do that, you have to explore a hex fully, and then basically at the end of the month, claim it as part of the colony and spend a resource, an RU, a resource unit, to build something along the lines of like a quarry or a lumber yard or some other natural resource.
Oh, we're playing Civilization, the TTRPG campaign.
Spoiler warnings, but let me take us to another map here. I am using Civilization 6 icons, I think.
We've got hexes, we've got culture, we've got technology.
I know this would excite some people, and then I think maybe some other players' eyes are glazing
over.
Just completely. Part of the colony creation and settlement is you build, structures, you build like parts of your society, and that will affect your 5 main attributes for the colony's health: accord, culture, economy, magic, and technology. Let me get back to the note. So yeah, setting up a resource node is probably one of the first things you want to do, because that gives you some additional resources and allows you to expand the borders of your colony. You can do 1 per round, so it might be worth talking beforehand about which direction you guys want to do that, because you can eventually down the line set up a second settlement, so like a second city within your colony. It does have to be 4 hexes away from your initial one. So
yeah, well, our initial one is in the middle of the forest, so we send the settlers to the shore, and then we build a road between the 2 places.
The longest road. And also make the biggest army. So like on the map here, this hex would be a site suitable for another settlement. Down here, where probably I think the capital of Taldor was, or over here would be another one on the inner sea, or anywhere in the mountains, like over here would also be fine. Yeah. So as you guys are getting ready to head out to explore in the space wagon, someone comes up and kind of stands in your way. Maybe not a great idea. Maybe they don't know Redacted's history very well, but it's a geologist. It's a geologist and surveyor for the expedition named Stampf Patel, who's sporting some heavy equipment over his shoulder and maybe some adventuring gear himself. And he says, "Hey, you all heading out ranging already?"
Yes, we are going to try to pick a suitable location and see what resources we can divine from it.
He comes over and kind of kicks your tires as you're getting into the space wagon. Well, I don't want to influence you all too much, but I might suggest you head to the mountains first. We can establish another settlement up north. we can probably get exclusive rights to a number of mines there, from lithium to gold to even rarer elements deep down in the crust. As long as you claim that area, I can set up an expedition to get out there and start mining within half a year. So just think about it. I can head that way and get ahead of you and set it up even faster. Get the reward sooner, if you know what I mean.
Patrick, is this guy? How often does this guy say tarnation?
I'm an old prospector.
Right. I'm getting big old prospector vibes off this bad boy, and I'm into it.
Do I have official art for Stamph Patel?
Sounds like a character from like Gravity Falls.
Yeah,
Sure if this is the official or not, but look, he's pretty awesome looking.
Dad?
This does kind of look like Tyler in Starfinder form.
Yeah.
He's also got a pirate's eye patch.
I know. That's what I was like, whoa, wait.
If this guy's
I wasn't ready for this reveal.
I'm calling shenanigans.
Tyler, do you have an eye patch handy? Of course you do. What am I even asking?
Yeah.
He looks like he would have a gruffer voice as well. He's got a David Hayter, like Solid Snake kind of voice.
He's got like a braggadocious adventurer's voice, because that's who Stamph Patel is.
But now we all need to do Solid Snake as minor adventurers. Now we'll do that later.
Good job, Drew. Thanks.
I refuse. I don't want to.
I know how to read the room on a bit. I get it.
You could have started us off, but you decided not to. You're like, let someone else drop their hand.
I ejector seated right out of my own bit. That's how much confidence I had in it.
It's like, all right, here we go, everybody. Everyone get in the car. We're going to drive off this ramp. And he immediately dives out while we're all in the passenger seat.
So yeah, let's, that was his suggestion to you guys. But the next part of this adventure, I think I mentioned this to you, is literally spending days and weeks exploring, buggying around, maybe every once in a while taking small breaks to collect plants and animal samples.
Could we also boogie around? Is that an option?
Boogie?
Is boogieing an option?
I mean, it's Redacted's ride, so it's up to Miles, really.
Yeah,
Is
but you do
boogieing
have a professional dancer with you, so
Yeah,
I can teach everyone to boogie around.
We got a boogie. We got a boogie. We got a boogie.
I just imagine it's
boogie.
It's the scene from Zoolander where they're
Oh, the
getting
boogie buggy.
drinks.
Have we named the car?
No, let the people in the Discord.
Right.
But yeah, it's a scene from Zoolander with everyone dancing, but we have a cranky driver in the form of Redacted.
Redacted's pretty zen when it comes to driving. It's the one time Redacted isn't being cranky.
How would you guys like to go about exploring? Do you want to switch off the navigator seat, the shotgun of the space buggy, or who's on tunes? Who's got the aux cable?
First of all, no one but Redacted is on tunes.
I don't know if anybody's actually in the passenger seat. I think we're all in the back seat.
Right. I was going to say, I think that sounds accurate.
Well, someone has to sit on someone's lap then.
I mean, that's fine.
And like two of you are like 7 foot tall. I think one of the tall people at least should try for that big seat. Yeah, so it's not driving the entire time. Like I said, you are expected to collect some plant and animal samples, take measurements, and map things out as you go. You do see some creatures. For the most part, they seem pretty skittish. Maybe you see some more signs of mole beetles here and there, like disturbances in the ground where they've made tunnels. But yeah, dozens of different flora and fauna that you've ostensibly no one has ever seen before. Doesn't seem like anything that has existed in the Pact year. So some pretty interesting plants. We are going to start off kind of montage mode here for the next few days, exploring, buggying, map making this new land. I guess we've already answered this question. I was wondering, what kind of traveling companions are you? It seems like most people are in the boogieing camp. But yeah, are there any topics of conversation you guys bring up as you're passing the time? Any questions you have for one another or things to chat about? Is there a chatty one amongst you? Who do you think is the chattiest? Chattiest Kathy.
It might be Jamfram. And pointing out features of the terrain that I see. I'm like, oh, don't you think it's interesting that the hills are shaped like that? You want to know what causes that? I can tell you what causes that.
And anytime someone starts chatting more than what Redacted considers an appropriate amount, the volume just gradually gets higher and higher.
Oh no, old bean! I couldn't hear you. There's too much road noise. It's road noise.
It's from bison stomping on it. That's why the hill's flat. I don't have good physical science. I'm like into it, but I'm not good at it.
See, I also don't have good physical science, but I feel like Asher would engage in conversation with you and wax poetic about the beauty of the mountains and the erosion and entropy that they show. The physical world is constantly dying and being rebirthed around us.
I'm talking a lot about fresh air.
Zilix rolls a 17 on a physical science check. Mentally, just internally.
I feel like everyone just needs to roll a fortitude check for their ears at this point because Redacted is like you just bumping this thing higher and higher.
Yeah, everyone takes sonic damage. You're right, Miles. You're correct. It's so rough. No, I mean you can open up the windows and also turn your helmets on to just talk over comms. It gets their conversation is psychically put in your head.
Yeah. Make it a silent disco conversation.
Right. So which hexes would you like to explore first? And mind you, we could go by weeks here in our first montage mode. I'm
inclined to follow the river to the south.
I was going to say the same thing, honestly.
Oh, okay. So not going the way Stan Patel suggested.
I mean, only because there's a river there, and it seems like a logical way to follow a path. But I don't know. I
just also want to have a van down by the river.
Zilix is torn because he sees he feels compelled to the mining and resources and shiny objects that could be sold for money, but transit is also a huge portion of what could potentially, the people who control the transit could potentially make the most profit of everything.
That's assuming they have something to transition.
Definitely not the word.
That's not the right word. I don't
Transport.
Transport. That's better.
Which hex are you thinking? The one directly south of the colony that leads to what looks like a couple of wide rivers that go into a larger tributary emptying out into the sea.
I'm feeling that one.
Okay, which one next? You guys just want to keep going down the river bend here to the sea?
Let's do that.
Okay, well, I mean, we can plot this out because once again, each one of these hexes that you explore is 4 days of time, and maybe we're not even including some of your relaxation time and free time. You have free time as well. Each month of colony time that you guys spend, you also can spend time earning a living and drawing a paycheck in the form of credits, UPBs from the company's kind of charter bank. Profession is typically the check rolled to earn an income, but you can use other skills if you can convince me that it can be used to earn cash or earn a paycheck each week. And just like regular profession checks, you earn credits equal to double the amount that you roll. So if you roll 4 weeks and get a 10 each week, it is 40 credits times 2, 80 credits that you add to your coffers.
I would try to do some hunting for the group. Provide some nutritious harvests, maybe find some berries that maybe aren't poisonous.
Yep. All this goes to would go to the silo, but it's still being worked on. So
I'm just making a big pile of them out in just in the middle.
Who keeps leaving these dead animals here? Yeah, no, they could be individually tested by like the botanists and biologists and things to make sure it's all safe.
So I got a 15.
Yeah, so you can roll these and keep track of them yourself, but we will eventually be doing an entire month of these, so feel free to roll 3 more.
Oh, okay, yeah. And then, so it would be 15 would mean how many credits?
30.
30. Oh boy,
Getting
and
paid.
18, 30, and 18, and then 20. Okay,
Ooh, look at you!
all right.
All this money.
High roller. All right, you got this.
You could roll 1 more for doing 4 weeks.
I'm the world's best hunter. I'm the world's best hunter.
18 on the dice. So what is that? 20?
22. Yeah. So 44.
Yeah. Some credits there. I'm pretty sure this is fine. This is assuming that you are spending your free time doing this or not working, quote unquote, exploring every single day of the week. So maybe just explore 4 days a week with the group, and you do some hunting when you get back from that. I'll allow the rest of you guys to roll as well as we continue on this month. Each month, 1 team member, you guys can rotate this, does need to spend a week doing charter activity stuff, basically business kind of things, working with Kells, Deirdrick, and arbitrating claims and allocating funds and doing payroll and that kind of thing. So that week
I'm happy to volunteer for this position.
Yeah, well, you don't have to do it every single month. Like I said, they can rotate.
I do not mind. But if
amongst
other folks would like to participate in it, they may. If it's something you do not enjoy, and he looks right at Redacted, then I am more than happy to take over for those who do not wish to participate.
Okay. Yeah. Do the rest of you guys want to make some rolls or talk about what you would be doing for a profession?
My
job?
profession is dance, but I don't know who's going to pay me to dance out here.
Oh,
really? You don't think there are some settlers that wouldn't pay for that?
I mean, it's not
we're
that
going down
kind
a dark
of dance.
Balco Longtar is the only one that shows up to your performance, but he's very generous. Doesn't clap. He doesn't cheer. He just stares the entire time.
Oh, jeez.
The buffet's really good, though.
No, there's like a common area where weekly performances and other things like that.
Well, you know what I would like to do, actually? Asher would like to host perhaps some yoga classes or, workouts. I don't know, like teach other people how to dance and like dance with them. And, I feel like they see dance as a communal activity as much as anything, right? Especially having come from the Battle Flowers. I mean, it's very much a community that she came from or that they came from. And I feel like they really see the potential benefits of having a community-based art form, I guess, in this new community that we're building.
Go right ahead and make 4 checks, because I think there's a number of folks that'll be interested in that. There's some other kind of similar clubs that are brought up. Ooh, some good rolls. Double digi rolls from Rebecca, averaging about 20. So I mean that's like 100, almost 160 credits, right? I can't do math. This is why calculators were invented. Yeah, it's like 164. What about Raider, Zilix, Redacted? What about you guys?
So I feel like Redacted would focus on engineering, and if we're talking about clubs, I mean, obviously Redacted has no patience for club work, but if Redacted could teach anyone to be, at least by Redacted's perspective, somewhat competent at engineering and any sort of mechanics, it would be beneficial to the colony.
Yeah, I mean, you can open up a learner's garage.
I mean, either that or it's cavity search, the art of probing.
I think there are some other vehicles in the colony, so you can work on those as well. Maybe keep your experimental vehicle to yourself, but show off, vehicle maintenance stuff. Would that just be engineering for you?
Yeah, that would be.
Okay.
So there's 4. Is that it?
Yeah, 4 checks. All right.
Oof.
All right. You coming off a little gruff first with a natural 1.
Yeah, wasn't great.
Well, natural 1 is still a 10 for you, so.
Is that still okay?
Looks like 128 credits after a month of work. What about Radier or Zilix?
Zilix will use some modern expertise in physical science, specifically working with chemicals and things like that, just to see if he can help out with anything.
You want to help out with the backlog that Altharia Grauman and Tayeta are going through?
I suppose.
Help out fixing the silo up? Yeah, that is fine. What, you want to use physical science?
Yeah.
Go right ahead. A good start, 18 on the dice.
Oh, almost at 20.
So we got a 10, we got a 14, we got a 19. Okay, 152 credits here. Yes, you guys are getting maybe too much money. Maybe job responsibilities have to change next month. And then Prater, you got 3 weeks of downtime work that you can put in here. What does Prater do?
Perhaps surprising to some, he spends it gambling.
What? Gambling with whom?
Are you cheating? You're cheating, aren't you?
What? Prater doesn't do that. That's essentially his profession.
We don't do that anymore.
So
I would just be trying to rope other settlers into games of chance.
I stake money. Oh goodness gracious! Yeah, you're bringing a real benefit to this community.
I really am.
All right. Well, what are you rolling for that?
Bluff.
Oh, gotta know when to hold 'em, know when to fold 'em, know when to roll a 4, know when to bet. Oh, you did pretty well here.
Pretty average.
Yeah, it's like 142 credits for you. Besides earning a living, which so long as you're working, you might have to cut that down. I don't know how much time we're spending in this first book, but I think this might be like one of the main ways you guys are going to get credits. Like none of these mobiles are dropping weapons, So we'll see how that plays out. Besides your regular job, you're earning an extra living. You guys do have some time for fun downtime activities, and the downtime activities, we are going to use the ones from the rule book. They're a little augmented by kind of the colony here, but I have some suggestions for things that would have a immediate effect. And the way that we're going to do them is basically once per month, that if you have like one of these active, you can gain the benefits for the downtime activity on any day that you'd like. So most of them are like, if you spend 8 hours getting like full bed rest, you can get some more HP back or something along those lines. But relaxing, what I've called vid gaming and relaxing, is going to work like the downtime activity lounge. In lounging on the following day, you get temporary hit points equal to half your character level. Not a lot at this level, but it's a minimum of 1, so you get an additional HP. And I'm going to go through the list here, and then we'll talk about them. You can spend your downtime patrolling the settlements, analyzing samples, these in chat, dwarven drinking, meditating and focusing, attending a brand awareness seminar, or joining the Calisthenics Club. He's in a chat for you folks.
And we are picking one to do all together?
No, this is your own personal time. In fact, I would be surprised if anyone picked the same thing as someone else, but maybe you can.
I can see it.
I don't want to shoehorn Pradir, but this This dwarven drinking seems to go along with your general gambling vibe already.
No.
Don't want to shoe you horn in, but drinking and
an
gambling.
elf's constitution does not stand up to dwarven drinking. In fact, he relies on other people to do dwarven drinking so that he can take their money when gambling.
Drink on his behalf.
No, Praetor, I think, would be more drawn to either doing sample analysis or meditation.
Meditation is with the Osharan priest Laosho. He invites all that wish to find peace to join him in a grotto in the forest not far from the settlement, right beside a waterfall and a babbling brook. And this is the Explore Futures downtime activity where you can attempt a mysticism check, and on a success, you can re-roll a d20 during the following day.
Yeah, I'll be doing that.
Yeah, it seems like one right up your alley. Explore Futures.
This was a new day, correct?
Yeah, I mean, this is like 30 new days in a row
Right, okay.
that we're doing.
Good. So mysticism?
Oh, yeah, we can, let's see. I'll read the description here. You meditate on the mystical energies of the multiverse, scan alternate realities, write and run complex predictive algorithms. The activity, you choose a creature and attempt a mysticism check. The DC is equal to the target's character level or CR, 10 plus 1.5 their character level or CR. And on a success, the character whose futures you can explore can re-roll a d20 roll during the following day. So I think this is for someone else.
Well, I'm picking somebody else.
Yes.
Okay.
And for anyone here, that's just going to be a DC 11.
DC 11, I'm going to pick Yamfram.
Hamfram.
I just made it. Lord, I was really scratching there. But yeah, you see maybe while Praetor meditates, they don't close their eyes when they meditate, so you can see this. They do not need to, as he seems very adept at just kind of zoning out, as you've obviously seen him do many times.
You got those fun eye stalks, so it's all
good. And then his yellow, his kind of golden yellow eyes seem to almost glow while doing this, as he is tapping into his own mystical energy to read timelines.
I dig it.
It's just a montage. You see Jamfram just boogieing every day.
Well, so I'm patrolling the settlement. So like every time I come around, I see him just sitting there, and I'm just like, I am dancing the whole way around, though. Yeah. So.
Patrolling the settlement. The Inglo sisters, the Orcish sisters, do spend all their free time kind of patrolling the perimeter of the camp after the mole beetles and the jolt vine and stuff, making sure nothing gets inside. They're not getting paid for it. They're just doing it to
just for the fun,
kind of train themselves up. Yeah. So if you spend this activity, if this activity at any point is interrupted by combat, you get a +2 circumstance bonus to the initiative check.
Nice.
Just going to put this in my notes. Jam from Patrol Settlement. What about the rest of you?
I feel like Asher would be inclined to do the calisthenics club. That's a
very close to what you were setting up as well.
Yeah, that's strength building that perhaps they have not done so much. They've done more of a dance-oriented exercise. This is more muscle building. Can't hurt.
Life in 0G, it takes a toll on your tonage.
This is just a fun group set up, mostly for the weekends, run by the husband and wife Noir couple Tashi and Tukor Hardhoof, who welcome you. It's like, oh yes, Asher, it is good to see you. Are you interested in getting limber with us? Tukor will say, yes, it's really good to get out in the fresh air and move your body. It's an exercise club. There's stretching, there's running, and every once in a while they'll break out into some hardcore parkour around the colony, just jumping off buildings and stuff.
Sounds fun.
There's a parkour class that's like open to all ages. That's like right around the corner from my house, and like it's like every Sunday during like when it's nice out, like it's just like you'll just see like teenagers and also like 60-year-old people just out there like jumping off of railings, and it's just the coolest. It's just the sweetest thing in the whole world.
Every time I think of parkour, I think of The Office when they're like, parkour!
They jump into the refrigerator
well, that
box.
is hardcore parkour right there. That's where that comes from.
Yeah.
Oh, is it?
Hardcore parkour. This is the workout downtime activity. On performing this once a day, you can re-roll a failed acrobatics check to balance, escape, fly, or tumble, or an athletics check to climb, jump, or swim, depending on the focus of your workout. And we're just going to assume that you succeed at these rolls. I think there's some kind of thing that you have to do, but because this is like over the course of a month, even if you fail, you get one reroll. So we're working them. Oh, what about Zilix or Redacted?
Zilix is going to kind of meander over to meditate and focus, just because he thinks that is something he can do, where he just gets to kind of to sit around and not have to do very much.
You don't want to analyze samples with more of the scientists?
No, I don't think he wants to do that. I think he wants to just kind of pretend to relax and not have any stress in the world.
Okay. Well, like I said, this is the same one that Tyler's picked. So if you want to make a mysticism check, or I guess technically per the downtime activity, you can, I think, like program algorithms to run to do predictive things. Explore futures. Yeah, if you have access to a computer. Oh no, it says tier 5 or higher. So mysticism check.
Oh, this isn't going to go well at all.
And who do you want to focus on? Because we've already got Jamfram covered.
Oh gosh.
Got a Asher, you got a Redacted, you got Praetor himself.
I don't know. Perchance he would meditate and focus on Asher and Sky because they're interesting. They're more interesting than the rest of the lot because of their bond with each other.
Got it. Hey, why don't you make that check now?
Oh, this is going to be so good.
Hey, -1 on this mysticism check. That's still a success. 18 on the dice. Yeah, so a lot of people come to Lyoshi's meditations. It definitely feels like you guys have like a mystic connection. Every once in a while, the Asharan will lead some like humming chants and things, some very calming like affirmations and things of that nature. But yeah, you grow closer to one another as you're spending time. Your mind kind of drifts off. What about our friend Redacted, Miles? What do you think? What do you think you might be interested in doing?
I feel like Redacted will get at least some sort of enjoyment out of analyzing samples.
That is, yeah, it's spending time with some of the scientists. The samples that you're bringing back from your excursions exploring the planet, you be handing them off to Veach, Heltharia Grauman, Tayeta, in their science labs, their makeshift science labs, and
well, there's that. Scientists also tend to be somewhat quiet while they are analyzing samples, and then will obviously share data, but data is not something that Redacted dislikes.
Yeah, so this is flora, fauna, and strata samples that you kind of bring back to study. And this is just the analyze sample downtime activity. Spending a day analyzing physical samples. You have at least a light bulk of, which you have plenty of that you can bring back. You learn information about the creature or material as if you had taken 20 on a skill check to identify it, using the appropriate skill for the creature type, if it's a creature, engineering if it's a technological, or mysticism if it's like a magical item. You have to be trained in the appropriate skill to gain the benefit, and Yeah, so it's basically like getting to take 20 on some of these searches. So if you do find something out in the wilderness, if you spend the time to analyze it here, you get to roll 20. If it's something that you've already seen and, I can talk to you about if it is something you've seen on your exploration so far, you can basically start a combat by getting a free 20 on an identify check.
I like that.
So I think that's everybody here. You can change these up month to month if one of these don't work out for you. I just wanted to add some bonuses in for downtime activities. I don't feel like they get talked about or used enough, but this campaign is downtime activity, the game. There's so much time we're not going to be playing, which I thought was fun. The stuff you haven't chose, if you want to think about for next month, was Dwarven Drinking, which is the carouse activity of just going to Gavin Neldener, the electrician, and he invites you to brew and drink with him, and he's set up a small brewery in Still and is hoping to start up a bar one day and needs help testing out all of his stuff.
So we'll probably get into that at some point.
Vid gaming and relaxing, the lounge activity is Ezra and Shire has set up a local Galarian Knights 4 server and is constantly asking people if they want to play with him in like long binges of like all day video game binges. And what else? Oh, the brand awareness seminar is, of course, Kel's Deirdrick offering corporate training in her free time and welcomes anyone to join her. So we're talking trust falls, team building, resume workshops, and things like that. And that is the downtime activity practice profession to get some bonuses on skill checks and things like that. Right. Any questions so far? I feel like we've gone over a bunch of stuff for a bunch of time passing.
Not at the moment, but I 100% know that the second that this week is over, I will have questions.
Well, it's more. We're doing weeks and weeks at a time. Yeah,
I know. I meant like the physical week that we as the players are currently in.
Like next week. Yeah. So you guys make planetfall on like Desnus 2, a second day in the year 323 AG, and yeah, we're going through the entire month of Desnus in this episode alone. And yeah, I talked about how this season is going to take place over months or even years. This week's episode is just the start of that. Is there anything else you think your characters might do in their free time outside of these activities, or anything you might see the other characters might see your character doing around the settlement? Sounds like your character, Tyler's a reader.
Yeah,
a big book nerd.
I guess now that this is good. Now that many weeks have passed, for those of you maybe with high perception would notice that Praetor seems to be reading the same book. In fact, you're not quite sure how much progress Praetor has made in the book.
You never learned to read.
But it should, you would think that someone would have gotten further than that.
What are you reading? I'm curious. Bit of a bookworm myself, if you ask me.
Aha! Do you know Eoxian?
Not the native language, but I have read a few things translated as roughly as that might be, of course.
Maybe like you would see maybe from the one of the covers, or if you ever maybe the back was facing up one day and you could decipher a few words. It seems to be an Eoxian, like it is from a kind of like a scholarly book, a research book written by an Eoxian bone sage on the nature of time and its perception.
Like a lot of bones, it's a little dry, I'll give you that. But, could be interesting.
Very dry book, yeah.
That was my third pun of the night, but, we can move on from there.
Dry bones? Was that the pun?
Yeah, dry bones, yeah.
Okay. I guess another question is, we've met a ton of the colonists, but not even all of them so far. If you take a look at the charter development page that I have set up for you guys, are there any that you guys think you would want to hang out with amongst the groups? I mean, it's engineers, mechanics, corporate folk, biologists, surveyors, farmers.
So Asher is a little intimidated. However, has an affinity, not a lot of knowledge, but an affinity for plant life, and would like to learn more about how to take care of plants and, how to tell them apart. I mean, they just have sort of a passing interest from exploring, hiking through Triaxis or whatever back on their home planet, and just finds plant life to be beautiful and interesting, despite the fact that they have -1 in life science.
Well, that would be talking with Haltharia Grommen. Pleased to meet you. You are, of course, Ather. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah. Of your species, you have Sky with you as well. I'm sorry, I've been so involved in my work. I've not had much time for your performances and your dancing that you do. Well, what can I do for you? You said that you are interested in some botany?
Yes, I have always thought that plants were beautiful and interesting, and I think it's so inspiring that they seem to grow from nothing.
They don't grow from nothing, my dear. They grow from a great deal of time, work, and science that is put into each and every seedling. Everything that you will have eaten over the next year will have come from about 20 years of hard science that I have perfected and some actually proprietary processes. I don't mean to toot my own horn, but I am perhaps the preeminent biologist in all of the packed worlds, certainly on this planet.
They're called.
Oh yes, and I meant no offense. I simply have no knowledge. I'm eager to learn more from you.
Well, then you can watch. Then I'll tell you all that I can bring down to a beginner's level for you. They're more than welcome to have you chat. Every once in a while, you see Redacted bringing a sample while you're hanging out with Haltharia, and Tayetta will come in as well, the host Sheeran. I mean, besides Haltharia's a big one that we haven't met yet. Besides some of the named colonists, I don't know if you guys noticed, but I've also added in about 20 unnamed colonists, just some random folk.
Big pile of nerds.
May or may not have jobs. We haven't talked about them. Yeah. Does anybody want to make up a name for one of these people? Give them a little, do like a mini NPC, give them a name, a backstory, a species.
Steak beef check.
Yeah. This goblin over here is named Haglin Daglin, and dreams of being a wealthy merchant on a new world.
Haglin Daglin?
Haglin Daglin. That's his name right there. I'm gonna mark it. I'm gonna use my free hand, and
I've written it.
Haglin.
Can you see the?
Yeah, I can see the label now. Good.
4 G's, but maybe not where you think they're supposed to be. Right. Not at the end of the Haglin Daglin. Obviously, every good colony has got a funny named space goblin,
but just one.
One's all you need.
Everyone else is named like Thomas or Anne.
What kind of voice does Haglin Daglin have? I'll do it for you right now. I'll GM for money for you.
My name is Haglin Daglin.
It's a very deep voice, very deep.
Oh gosh, I hate you. How's it then? I'm Haglin Daglin.
Right.
What's all this then?
You used to sound like Bumfuzzle, but like smoke inhalation, it's oh boy.
I got the asbestos lung.
I got the money to come on this voyage for my mesothelioma settlement.
What does Haglin Daglin do for the colony?
Haglin Daglin is oh boy, let's say Jamfram is bringing some of this good game back to Haglin Daglin and giving him very good prices because Haglin Daglin is good at his job, but Jamfram is less good.
What is he? Is he a butcher?
No. He's just he's gonna sell it to the butcher. That's the thing.
Oh.
He knows people. He knows.
He's the middleman.
He knows. Chops McKendrick over here.
You get one, Jabert. You can name one PC max per episode. We'll get back to someone else naming someone else here. But that brings us to our next, I think, a Patreon tie-in for this season, where you at home listening, if you're a Patreon subscriber at, I believe, the Scaramander or above level, I'll double check on that. But if you want to create a colonist that the PCs have to interact with, you can make a level 3 to 10 hero, NPC hero, and they can show up in the adventure. Oh yeah, that's right. More fan challenges are going to be back. This one just for Patreon subscribers. We'll have news on that. I'll announce something on that one. But we did this with, I guess we didn't do it with Dead Men Roll No Crits, but we had unnamed pirates, and it was a very fun part of naming many of them on the podcast. It's where we got Itchy Toe Greg from, and
Mahim, the Naga killer.
No, Mahim is in the.
He was
the
not
AP.
the Naga killer.
No, he got his expert name from.
Yeah, we made him the Naga killer by being unable to defeat the Naga by ourselves.
So yeah, we're going to continue on with the settlement development and go through that process. But before the month's over, as you guys are coming back from a day of maybe downtime activities, doing some relaxation, doing some analyzing of samples, there is a loud bang that happens in the settlement, and perhaps you see smoke rising off one of the buildings in the distance here. And as you get collected together, the five of you see Veach standing at the outside of his personal quarters and some space that he uses attached as kind of like a greenhouse. And as they see you come up, he says, hello. We had several strict quotas about what to bring into the settlement, but I had some license with that, since I could set space restrictions for my creatures. He gestures. He has some cage specimens that he brought along with him that were in like stasis as you guys made it to the planet. I might have taken some liberties with my discretion. I brought some creatures that are illegal to import into, well, anywhere. They're just not allowed anywhere. Do you know what diathas are? Diathas. Well, this is a question for the players mostly.
Can I roll physical science to see if I know?
Yeah, you know that I don't.
Physical science, no. Life science, yes. But
I can roll life science. That's fine.
Yeah, go right ahead, Drew. Ooh, close to 20 on the dice, but 2 is not good. Two, not going to do it.
Drew, we got that episode reroll.
You know what? We got an episode reroll. Let's reroll it.
Let's know what these doodads are.
You guys could have rerolled that some bum profession checks.
Oh, wait,
coins. But you're like, nah.
Is it a technological device?
No, we're talking about a bug creature.
Could it also be a culture check, maybe?
No, it's life science. Feel free to reroll, Drew.
Rerolling.
Okay, you got
even worse.
No, he did better. He did one better.
He did exactly one better.
3 on the dice.
I mean, it's still bad.
That's why I shouldn't worry about giving you guys.
Miles. We all know. We all know it's still bad.
Reroll.
The players don't. We haven't. I mean, the listeners. We haven't announced it.
Yeah. He repeats, Diathas. I will speak slowly because you don't seem to comprehend. They are explosive slugs. You might have heard them called Just then, there's another explosion from inside the domicile as a plume of smoke rises up above one of the vents on top of the building into the sky, forming out the letters "to be continued."
They're called boom squishies, I think.
Oh, yeah. I mean, like we got a new name for them at the very least.
They're called Haglin Daglin.
We'll deal with these cliches, and probably the end of this month, we'll talk about the settlement development next time here on the podcast, everybody. That's going to do it for this week's episode. Yeah, this is like the most talking I think I've done in an episode in a long time.
Yeah.
I'm just going to send another bug to attack you guys next week. I can't do this. Need you guys to talk some more.
Presumably some explosive slugs.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Look what I have here, right sitting here. How about that?
And you got all these bonuses and rerolls and stuff. I'm just going to up the count of diathas real quick. There we go. Okay. Yeah, that's going to do it for this week's episode. Everyone, thank you for playing with me.
Well, thank you,
Patrick.
Thank you. Listeners, thanks for listening. I hope you like the slice of life adventure that is Planetfall, this book. And we will catch you on the next episode of Cosmic Crits. So long, everyone.
See you later.
Alrighty.
You've been listening to Cosmic Crit, an officially licensed partner of Paizo Incorporated. The Starfinder role-playing game and adventure paths are trademarks of Paizo. All Pathfinder and Starfinder images are property of Paizo and are used with permission.